We're going to start off with this NCAA Tennessee Virginia issue. It is going to be 4 downs. It's brought to you by our friends at Dynasty Pools and Spas. If you haven't checked them out yet, you need to. They're in Athens. Great showroom. They bring you 4 downs because it's 4 seasons for every spa. I mentioned Off the Hook Sports. Get $500 off.
4 Downs brought to you by Dynasty Spas, the most comfortable spas made in the United States of America, right here in East Tennessee. Drop in for the all-new showroom in Athens. Dynasty Spas, perfect for all 4 seasons. 4 Downs, presented by Off the Hook Sports.
Okay, so it'll be John, Dave, Caleb, and who else in the hot tub?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Jump on in. The water's fine. What down is it, Coop?
Coop here. First down.
All right, John. This injunction that they're trying to put into place, Tennessee is, and the hearing's going to be on Tuesday, would essentially allow business to go on as planned. The NCAA most likely would just end their case altogether. This is kind of a one-way injunction. It could just mean Tennessee wins, this thing's over with. It could mean the NCAA gets to continue it on. So it doesn't really matter, I don't think, long-term. But to have it go away next week, how nice would that be?
Well, I think it would be nice to Tennessee. It's hard, a high-powered lawyer, that's expensive, so it's going to cost money. And I think there's always a concern about a quarterback, when you have invested so much money in Nico Iamaleava, I just think they might wonder if he gets tired of all this. What if he got just, tired of all this court stuff and just, I'm going to transfer somewhere else. I don't think that would happen, but I'm just thinking it particularly in the football business, coaches worry all the time about things that can go wrong. But I don't think any of that will happen. I think this will all end up in Tennessee's favor. Tennessee doesn't have anything to lose with this injunction. I don't see why it would be granted the injunction, but it doesn't have anything to lose. The case ultimately will be decided in a court of law, but the NCAA has everything to lose. I mean, if it rules it can't govern, basically, you can't enforce your NIL rules. I mean, what power does it have? We keep hearing Wild Wild West. This would be the Wilder West. I think fans might react to it, but just because it's and considered a loss if Tennessee doesn't win this, but it's just, to me, it's not that big a deal for Tennessee.
Hey, Caleb, even if Tennessee wins, I really believe that at some point there's going to be this sort of conversation, and that is, why are we wasting all this money? Let's find a way to exist, still have our jobs, and not worry about football. There's got to be a growing voice inside of those meeting rooms saying, we're just fighting an uphill battle, wasting money that maybe one day we could make.
I think the problem is the flaw is embedded in the NCAA, which is that they can't exist without violating antitrust laws. And I think they know that. So my philosophy, I think maybe the NCAA is doing this because the longer they can drag out the court cases, the longer they can stay in business and the longer their executives can collect some salaries.
John, it's not the worst idea in the world.
I think the NCAA's goal really should be come out of this as sort of we always hear this term for quarterbacks, a game manager. You're not going to be in the enforcement business anymore. But you can manage the tournaments, even the NCAA basketball tournaments, the soccer tournaments, the volleyball tournaments. You've got all this stuff in place. You've been doing it for a long time. Just do that, but just stay out of the enforcement business.
Yep, and I'm fine with that. It's kind of like the intern that you have to find something to do. So you can just go. I mean, seriously. I mean, just
what type of interns were you working with, Dave?
Well, no. I mean, there was a time that the poor kid wasn't the brightest in the world, and I said, "Why don't you just look at the internet?" I mean, what was I supposed to do? I mean, the guy couldn't hack it. that mean,
sorry.
John? I mean,
My mind is going so many different places
Caleb's
right now.
laughing, but I would say just do research and find anything on this dude. And this was back when the internet was slow, so it was like, but I mean, what are you going to do? Just give the NCAA something to do. They can go start cleaning up the Mercedes-Benz Dome for the next basketball tournament they have in a venue that's 100 times too big and makes for a terrible basketball backdrop. Do that. Go do that. Or go build an arena that seats 18,000 that you could have all the games in. Do something else. Just stay away from football. You butchered it for like 50, 60 years.
I'm fine with your plan, Dave.
Just not as passionate, maybe. And that's what bothers me about John. It's the lack of passion nowadays. The lack of passion. I mean,
I'm passionate.
Wait, John. Wait. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? That's the retirement age creeping in.
What?
No, I think John is like those. Oh, I'm trying to think of the SNL person there was people on SNL that were so good at this, where they weren't that animated when they said something. They sounded so mellow and normal, and everybody else is laughing and they're keeping a straight face as if they said something totally normal. That's John.
Yeah. Well, I pride myself in confusing people.
Yes. Very good at that. John reminds me of a young Kristen Wiig. All right. What down is it, Coop? Kristen Wiig. Is there any concern about the NCAA investigation? John, you have to tell me if there's a 1% shred that Tennessee should have any concern.
Okay, I'll tell you that if that makes you feel better.
It'll make me feel damn good. Just tell me.
Okay, yeah, there's a 1% chance that Tennessee's in really big trouble here.
This is the first time I have ever said this, Caleb. And because I always say you don't want the NCAA snooping around, they'll find something. I think this is the first time I've ever said this in a quarter of a century of my career. And I think there is absolutely zero concern. Zero. Like, I don't even think about, let's talk about what if Tennessee got hammered by the NCAA. I mean, you and I have not even on our conversations that have been off the air, we haven't even discussed that as a topic. We haven't.
Yeah, it's funny. All three of us are journalism majors here on this show. And one of the things we all learned very early on in journalism is to avoid certainty at all costs, right? And we're all certain still that Tennessee's not in trouble. So we're violating our own oath as journalists because we know they're not in any trouble whatsoever and there's nothing to worry about.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, this is not going to come down to, we're going to take 8 scholarships from you and limit your recruiting travel because we know you like to travel. So that's what we're going to do. That's how the NCAA sounds. Did you know that, John?
I do now. To Caleb's point, we went to different journalism schools. I never had to take an oath.
The hypocritical
a figurative oath.
You've got to take the hypocritical oath, John.
I'm going to be hypercritical.
That's right. You got to take
the hypercritical oath.
Yeah. You had to take the hypercritical oath. I agree.
But John, if everybody here is Vol fans, as Butch Jones said, okay, I'm a parent and we all have children. And aren't you looking out for Tennessee? I'm sorry. I remember Butch Jones saying that in a press conference. So
I did. So there's the Hippocratic Oath, and then there is what John and I took, and that's the hypercritical oath, which is way, way different because that would be like a doctor saying it, come in and you gain 2 pounds. Hey, fat butt. What's going on with you?
You're an embarrassment to your family and the human race. What else is going on?
Do you hate your wife and kids? Are you trying to die early? I mean, what? Are you not going to be there for them, you big fat loser?
I hope you treat your pets better than you do yourself.
Yeah, that's right. I bet you got a bunch of fat dogs.
They'll die of old age at 2.
There's no way that it has not even crossed my mind that this could actually be a thing in which Tennessee gets in trouble. That's the goofy part. They've gone from times that we thought probably not to now absolutely not. What down, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
Okay, so the injunction is on Tuesday. My number 3 question, and maybe we dove into it. Why is this so stupid? John, you gave me a great answer the other day when we were discussing the topic. I guess it was yesterday. It's been a long run here getting back in Knoxville. Why is this so stupid?
What are you talking about, Jay?
The whole NCAA response.
Well, it's a drowning man. He's waving his arms, maybe screaming to somebody on the beach who's applying suntan and not even paying attention. Please, I'm drowning, save me. And nobody's really interested in saving him. And so it's a desperation move, a Hail Mary, if we want to talk in football parlance. But yeah, I mean, it's survival is at stake for the NCAA here. It doesn't just want to clean out dome stadiums like you suggested, Dave. I guess it doesn't just want to, it doesn't want to just run a volleyball tournament like I think would be a good idea.
And the basketball tournament, I'm fine with that. Pick the stupid venues that you hold basketball tournaments. You ever remember that the SEC basketball tournament where Georgia won the whole thing because of the tornadoes, and I think they won 8 games in a day. And the thing that was so amazing about it is they got booted out of the Georgia Dome, and the tournament was better because they were in a small venue.
You probably should mention a tornado did go through downtown Atlanta at the time.
That's what it takes to make the NCAA look smart, is some sort of calamity.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this wasn't the NCAA, to be fair, guys. This was the SEC that did that.
Yeah, I know, but whatever. But my wife works in insurance. That's an act of God. It takes an act of God to make the NCAA look smart. Caleb, do you want to just skip forward on this one, or do you like?
Well, I mean, I've always felt like coaches were the least smart people for their jobs because they stumbled up the ladder, and I got that wrong. It's people running the NCAA. It's people running the NCAA are the least smart people who stumbled up the ladder. I mean,
pretty sure here that I got 70-year-old John and 30-year-old John. All right, John, your thoughts on what young John had to say?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean, the sports administrators, I mean, brilliance is not a word that comes to mind. Just in general, I'm not saying there aren't some bright people, but through the years, I've noticed some sports administrators, the job as a whole, it's not necessarily held by the best and the brightest. And I think also you're in a position where, I mean, we could say this about all of corporate America. Oh, wait, never mind. I work for a large corporation. Let's go on.
That's great. Get you both fired.
Oh,
I got a job waiting on you. Kalen GBO, who's actually, that's one of Kalen DeBoer's fake accounts because he likes to keep track on other teams. No, it's not. But he says, Derek, they thought Tennessee would roll over. That leads us to 4th down. Did the NCAA really go into this thing expecting 0 of a fight? That'll be 4th down with John Adams and Caleb Calhoun on Dave Hooker. 60 seconds. Dynasty pools and spas. 4 downs for 4 seasons of comfort. Imagine having the best spas made right here in the United States of America in your backyard. Dynasty Pools and Spas. Their showroom is open in Athens, right off the interstate. You can stop by and check out the best hot tubs and spas in the market. And then delivery, yes, they can do that to Knoxville or Chattanooga. They've got complete support, spa cover, and chemicals to keep your spa bubbling at its best. They also have pool chemicals as well. Dynasty Pools and Spas, amazing discounts for first responders, military, and even some blemish models that can save you a ton, and no one will ever notice. Mention Off the Hook Sports, get $500 off. Mention Off the Hook Sports, get $500 off. Dynasty Pools and Spas. Go to dynastypoolsandspas.com or stop by that showroom in Athens. dynastypoolsandspas.com. Dynasty Pools and Spas.
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe. All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
ultimately, and this was on the message board, somebody posted this because I had another one ready, but fourth down is, John, do you believe because of Tennessee's history of compliance, they thought Tennessee would just roll over? Do you think this is all surprising that Tennessee said, bleep you?
I'm certainly not surprising with Tennessee's response after all it did to help the NCAA in a previous investigation. That really gives the NCAA absolutely no credit, which is kind of what we've been doing throughout the show. I mean, maybe somebody said, maybe they're having a meeting and somebody says, "Hey, what if Tennessee doesn't just roll over? What if it does and we're going to court? What do we do then?" But probably everybody else in the room was preoccupied seeding teams for the bowling championship tournament. And
Yes.
so they just missed that.
Yes, this is the same organization that decided you should be able to get scholarships for fishing, which you can in Kentucky and Arkansas. Caleb, any thoughts on fishing for finances?
This is the same organization that accidentally. You guys remember this, John? I know you do. I was not born yet, but this is the same organization that.
Or you missed out.
Yes, go ahead and date us all. Dave,
at one time in history, they thought that they got surprised when the NIT got more popular than them because they would only take the conference champions for NCAA tournaments. That's how stupidly run they have been for a long time. And then they're like, "Oh, there's some other good teams who don't win championships, guys. Maybe we should put them in our tournament." I mean,
we got the voice, John. If you get the voice early in the show, it's going to be a good voice. If you get the Mr. Magoo voice, you're sweet bait.
But was that? You notice sometimes people who imitate other people, no matter whom they're imitating, they use the same voice. Like in other words,
I've got like three. I've got three good ones.
Oh, okay.